you ever do that as a kid?
Yes.
I still don't really know what the effect is.
I'm not very good at it.
What's the
It's supposed to make like a hollowed like pop. Yeah, kind of like that.
I see. I see the appeal now.
Only like painful a decade and a half later.
Listen, I'm late on a lot of trends.
So true.
Like Pretty Little Liars, watched it like 2 years ago.
I've been thinking about rewatching it. I watched like the first like couple seasons and then could not keep up with it.
Guys, welcome back to the Midnight Memo. My name's Claire.
And I'm Kristen.
And we're so happy for you joining us. That doesn't make sense. We're so happy that you are joining us. If you're watching the video, you might notice it's a little lighter outside.
It's daytime.
There is a horrifying amount of light that is hitting my face, though. Wow.
Your caucasity is showing. I have supposedly blackout curtains, and normally they are good enough for me. They're not good enough for this video, though.
No, it's okay. Yes.
Anyway.
The point was that it's light outside, and you guys are probably like, oh, why aren't they recording at nighttime? That's the whole thing, right? Guys, it's March Madness, so we're making some adjustments, okay?
We make adjustments for the team, for the squad.
We take one for the team.
Yes, always.
So
take 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah. So since our team is playing tonight, we decided to try to record beforehand. Yeah.
As to not have the effects of the game affect this recording. But it's gonna I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm manifesting what I want. Just know that.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine us just coming on, just completely crying the whole time.
Well, that was my biggest fear. Is like originally we were gonna record this after the game because that's usually what we would do. So especially so it's at night. And then I was like, I was telling Claire, I was like, should we do that? Do we want to risk however the cards fall to affect said recording?
And on the other hand, I feel like my body is disintegrating as we speak. And so I was like, you know what? Your girl does want to get home at a reasonable hour today.
Crazy.
So
why do you want to get home at a reasonable hour, Claire? You should tell the peoples what you told me.
So I'm on a couple dance teams outside of work, outside of podcast stuff.
Going to 3.
Yeah, going into 3. And on Wednesdays, I basically train from 7 p.m. to midnight, and I don't get home until around like 12:31. And so because of that, today I was like, I need to be home at some point just to like let my body melt.
Yeah, and that works for me because I've been dying this past week.
Yeah, we're dying in different ways.
Yeah, I got deathly ill after hanging out with Claire last Friday, so it's all her fault. And
I blame Gab.
It's all my partner's fault. Yeah, we hung out last Friday, and I woke up Saturday morning, and I thought it was a hangover. Definitely was not a hangover. It was death. Wasn't COVID. I've tested for COVID like 30 million times. All good. We're negative all across the board. So
That sucks.
if Claire ends up gross next week, you know what happened.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
It is, because I was just sick, and I don't want to be sick again, so I will blame you.
Maybe you gave it to me.
No, because you would have gotten the vid.
Oh, just kidding then. You would have gotten the vid? Is that what you just called it?
Yeah. Today. Actually, okay, so this has been on my mind for like ever. And I think it was triggered again today as I was going to work on the bus. But the audacity of men.
That's such a broad topic though. Like full stop. The audacity of men, full stop.
Okay,
End of
umbrella.
sentence.
Yeah, the umbrella category, audacity of men.
Uh-huh.
I feel like where we could probably focus.
Subcategory today.
Subcategory in the workplace.
Oof, okay. Yeah.
Still
broad.
Yeah, there's just as I was walking around my office today, there were just certain behaviors that I saw some of my male counterparts doing that I, like as a female, would just never think of doing. And I think it's just like a mix of their audacity, because all the men have it, and then also just like this innate confidence that they have.
That is very true.
They just have it, and like it's something they don't even think about. Whereas for women, from my point of view, we have to like continuously work towards it.
Yeah.
And so the example I was thinking of right off the top of my head today was that
just pulling from the basket today.
Actually just crazy. It just came up in my head. I was hosting a meeting today, and one of the people from the group reserved an office space for the actual meeting, and he's like, okay, like I've reserved this space, we can go for whenever the meeting starts. Like, great, cool. He was in there already before the meeting started on another call.
Okay.
And so he like looked stressed out, and he was like talking and all this stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go in yet. I'm just going to like let him finish the meeting he's currently on.
Was his meeting that he was currently in, was it running into the meeting time that you were supposed to go to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't, but like I got there like 8 minutes before because I was like, one, I need to be prepared.
Sure.
And then
love that for you. Look at her. She's a professional.
Yeah, which is another thing. Like I feel like for me and like for a lot of other women, we have to like go into meetings like feeling extra prepared.
Yeah.
Whereas men can just like jaunt on in like five minutes after the meeting started and be like, oh, sorry guys, like, and like no one
Okay.
questions anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. But today's meeting, like I got to where the room was that was reserved for us like 8 minutes early because I was like, okay, I just want to like make sure where it is and like
Sure.
prep stuff. But one of the team members was already in there. He looked like he was having a stressful meeting. And so I was like, you know what? Like I'm early. I'm just going to hang out, talk to
Yeah.
other people, whatever.
Yeah.
Wait till he comes out because
Sure.
obviously like I don't want to just, even though he's supposed to be part of our next upcoming meeting.
Yeah.
I just don't want to like barge in.
Right.
And so I was just like talking to another girl in the office and then a guy who was going to be a part of the meeting as well. He like came in, just didn't even care, opened the door and just walked into the room during.
Did he even like knock or something?
No.
No.
He just was like holding his coffee cup and like his laptop and just opened the door and walked right on in. And I was like, what? Like I would never think of doing that.
Do you think that I want to like plead for this man? Like, do you think maybe he was just like preoccupied too and just like did not process that like the other guy was in this meeting or like read the like was in the room already in a meeting, like just didn't read the situation? Hopefully that's what happened, but that's still.
I don't know because I was standing outside. I'm the one that's running the next meeting.
Yeah,
Why
you
would
would have
he-
seen you would have seen other people
Yeah, like-
standing outside. Yeah.
He literally just would like, yeah, I don't see them just like walking right past me and then just being like, oh, the meeting started and like go into the office.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was just like, damn, like he had no hesitations. He just walked right in and like put his stuff down. And like I think there are levels to this, the audacity that happened
Right.
was because the guy who was already in the office or in the room,
Right.
he's like high up architect manager.
Of course. Yeah, you would think so.
If one of my peers, same level as me, was in a meeting room,
Yeah.
I still wouldn't barge in. I would kind of like maybe wave and be
Yeah.
like, hey, can I come in? Or
Yeah.
like,
or knock. Fucking
Yeah.
knock. Just a quick hey, like
Yeah.
you good? Can we come in?
yeah, like you still have a few minutes in the room. It's fine. But
Yeah.
like,
Especially it's not like he was at this point you were still early.
Mhm.
So it's not like this person who's already in the meeting room is like running into your meeting time,
Exactly.
which he's also a part of, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's still early. He's still in his designated meeting time.
yeah, that's why I was so confused too. Because like even because he was a senior manager,
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you just barge into that meeting?
Yeah.
Like it's what?
Yeah.
Like I would be more understanding if it was like someone from your like the same
Your
level
team or-
yeah,
yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like, okay, like I'm coming into the meeting, like whatever, or like
Still, I feel like really rude, like
Yeah.
pretty unprofessional. But
yeah.
at
So
least
I
if
was
it's a
like,
peer.
yeah. So I was sitting there and I was like, I stared at the girl I was talking to and I was like,
Did that just happen?
You see what I was
Yeah, 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 yeah.
She was like, oh my god, like we were on the same
Okay,
page.
you both were like, what did we just watch happen?
Yeah, and I was like, would you have done that? And she was like, no, I wouldn't have. I was like, literally, like I would have, even if like he was running overtime,
Yeah.
he's still so many levels above me
Yeah.
that I wouldn't be like, hey, it's my office time now. Like,
Again, like this is the perfect example of like common sense is not common, where I'm like, isn't the logical thing if someone is occupying a room in which you would like to enter, take the Hufflepuff route and fucking knock?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like any way you slice it and you go back to it, taking out like seniority and all that stuff out of the picture, like my first reaction is, why wouldn't you just knock? Like that just
Yeah.
feels like step one, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
Just as a common courtesy, respect sort of a thing.
yeah,
But like we said, common sense is not common, I guess.
yeah, and like I would want to give him like the benefit of the doubt too, like, oh,
Right.
but like also if you took a moment to glance through the big window,
Yeah.
you saw that this man was distraught. Like
Yeah.
it was an intense conversation.
Yeah.
So why would you just feel like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk in now?
Yeah.
Like that's like obviously something very important is going on. And so like right as he walked into the door and stuff, like the guy, you could kind of tell he was annoyed.
That was gonna be my next question, is like, how did the person in the room like
yeah, he
interpret this and handle?
he just like got up and took his laptop and like was still on the phone and stuff. And so that was like the first sign of the audacity that I experienced today at
Yeah.
work. So the guy who like had interrupted the meeting,
Yeah.
he was also like presenting in the meeting that I was hosting. So like,
Wait, okay. Wait, he's presenting,
yeah,
but you're like running the meeting, right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So me,
Like, I'm sorry, I have to go back. So like this, like he knows you're running the meeting.
Yeah.
You are not present you were not in the room yet.
yeah,
Like the person running the meeting is not in the room yet, and he still was like gonna go like
yeah.
interrupt someone.
The person who was running the meeting wasn't there.
Yeah.
Not only did he see that I wasn't in the room because he
He
saw
saw
me
you
outside the room,
Yeah.
like waiting. The person who was already occupying the room was stressed out in a
Yeah.
very like intense meeting, you could tell, and like he just walked in without knocking, without any consideration for like whatever
Yeah.
was going on. And so then I was like, okay, that's a choice.
That's a choice.
We started the meeting that I was hosting, and the guy who walked in was presenting during the meeting that I
Yeah.
was hosting,
Uh-huh.
and he did a great presentation. But another thing that I noticed about the like confidence, the unearned confidence that men have in the
Right.
workplace, is that like if if I take an equal counterpart that's male in my company,
Yeah.
and we are tasked with the same job,
Yeah.
like he will put 20% effort into that task,
Yeah.
and be like, 2 thumbs up, guy, like good job.
Yeah.
But then like I feel like I'm always putting in 100% into that task, and then being like, okay, like, but we need another person to take a pass at it. And it happened in a previous project where basically we had to create code to test. Like, we would create code, and then the functional people have to test the functionality
Right.
of
That
what we
makes
built,
sense.
right? Because if we test it, we know the results we want.
Yeah, you're gonna hit what you're only gonna. Oh, what is the term for it?
The happy path?
Yes, the happy path. You're only gonna test the happy path.
Exactly. And so we're back with better lighting.
Ish.
We were like, had finished building all of our stuff, and
Yeah.
there's a guy on our team who's supposed to be testing all this stuff,
Yeah.
and he was like not doing it. And so like me and another girl, we just delegated. We're like, okay, since you're not getting your shit done, like we'll just give you part of all the tests that we need done, and then we'll take on our parts. Like, so we divided it evenly between the 3 of us, because he was not getting, like, it was literally, you have like a whole day in the office to do your testing.
Yeah.
He got through 2 tests, and me and the other girl within an hour got through 10 tests each. And I was like, how?
Okay.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
this is at this point, this is your only job on the project. Like, you have no other responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you say something?
me and the other girl did at the end when we were on our car
Like,
ride home. And
okay, so,
so
like-
we're like, not to trash anyone, but honestly, like,
Yeah.
he was not stepping up and doing what he needed to do.
Okay, so like not a formal complaint, but like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
did bring it up.
It's just annoying because I feel like I could be doing so much less. Or it's just like our level of effort as women isn't viewed equally as the
Yeah.
level of effort that men put in.
Yep.
And so it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you just have like the attitude, this confidence that you just come in and you're like, I did my job. And it's like, you really fucking didn't.
Yeah.
And we have to go pick up the pieces, and then you get congratulated for doing it, even though like we all acknowledge, like, us as women, we see that you didn't do your job, but as a team we have like this pressure of performing as a team.
Yeah.
And we don't want to
it's the
single
hive
any.
mind.
Yeah. So it's just annoying because basically it just feels like he's getting the credit for stuff that we're doing.
Yeah. That's so annoying.
So annoying. And I don't know, I feel like there was a lot of audacity on this project. I feel like I'm just ranting now.
I mean, fair.
But when you're working in a professional office environment, there's
Yeah.
just certain behaviors
Yeah.
that you should follow just to like be, I guess, culturally.
You're in a professional
acceptable.
environment. You
Yeah.
should be acting professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my line of work, we travel a lot to our clients to help them. And so when you're on site, you adopt their culture, right? So like
Right,
if
okay.
they're a more professional establishment than we are in Seattle, we dress to the nines
Yeah.
to like basically fit in with
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Right.
So like we went onto the client site, they had a conference room designated for us, and we're like, okay, this is where we're working or whatever. And although it was kind of closed off from like the rest of the people who are working at our client's site, and so
Like they give you like a pod, like a corner almost.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah.
and so we're like, okay, like whatever, but like you still dress properly, you still behave professionally,
Right.
because when people do come in for like conferences or like meetings, like you don't want to just be caught off guard,
Yeah.
I guess. But there's this one guy in my team who literally would just sit back in his chair and just kick his feet up onto the table.
What?
And I was like, bro, like you're just like kicking it like you're with
You're
bros.
literally kicking it back, like,
Like-
and you're at work.
Yeah. Like
What the hell?
they paid for you to be here to help them, and you're just like chilling.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I was like, I would never.
Literally. What?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that other than just like I'm dumbfounded by the audacity.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And like you could tell like all of us were like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Was
right
the
now?
whole room kind of like side-eyeing it, or
I
like
mean-
what was the energy in the room?
From what I could tell, and I know this sounds very divided,
Sure.
but from like the women's standpoint, we're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And the worst part, and this is where the audacity comes in, is that he didn't even like, it didn't even seem like he was apologetic about the way he was acting.
What? Unfazed. Just
Unfazed.
did he at least move, or did he keep his feet up?
I believe he took his feet down, but it wasn't like the
It was just,
last
like-
time he did it. That's the thing.
Like later on during the day, he kind of fell back into like,
Yeah.
oh my
And we
gosh.
were like, what is this confidence, this unearned confidence that you have, that you think that, like, that's the attitude of someone that just feels like overconfident and just like feels like he deserves to be here. And it's like, no,
Yeah. Is this the same person every time?
different person.
Okay, so it's unfortunately
The
happened.
audacity is an epidemic.
Yeah. It's running rampant.
Yes.
Ugh. Okay.
But it was just, yeah. So I don't even understand like the acts that these men do in the workplace.
Yeah.
And that just crosses their mind like, oh, it's totally okay to do this. Like, no, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
That's
to me.
crazy.
Hello. If you're hearing this, that means we have found a break in our trains of thought. I know. Kind of crazy. Like our podcast isn't chaotic or something like that. Anyway, this week we have a sponsor for this episode, and our sponsor is Newsly. And you're probably wondering, what is Newsly? Well, Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web on topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. So you can stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you'd want, from sports to business to Bitcoin, or even the Kardashians. And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. Our podcast, The Midnight Memo, will be there too. Make sure to check them out. Download and use Newsly for free now from www.newsly.me or from the link we have down in our description. You can also use the promo code TMM for 1 month of free premium subscription. That is right. So make sure to go check us out on the Newsly app. You will not regret it. And now back to the podcast.
I think the most wild one I've had, technically it wasn't really the workplace, but it was the gym at my workplace.
Oh, right.
But this was like, it was just so blasphemous. I was like, this more goes with like gym etiquette, but still.
Yeah.
So like this was back in the days where I was trying to build upper body because I have none. And
relatable content.
Right?
Yeah.
I am a female. I am built a certain way. And so I was trying to do, I was at the pull-up machine and I literally had just walked over. This man came into the gym maybe like 30 seconds before I was about to walk over to. So he saw me go to this machine.
Yeah.
And then do my first set, whatever. And then I don't know what he was doing in that meantime. I saw him walk in as I was walking over to the machine, whatever. Do my first set. And then he comes over and he taps me on the shoulder. First of all, I feel like it should be general. Like, I feel like it's known, or it's at least been stated many a times, that you just don't approach women in the gym unless it's like, you know them, or there's like a really good reason. I don't know, you know, like just don't approach them. But this man comes over, taps me on the shoulder. Like as I'm not even like off the machine. Like I'm like coming out of my last like pull up and I'm like trying to find the fucking ground. You know, like I'm dangling and I'm trying to find the ground. And this man's like, and like that's not even a dramatization. That's like genuinely how he tapped me on the shoulder. And I was like, yes, hello. And he's like, are you done? Like that's literally what he asked me. He's like, are you done? And I'm like, no. Like I was like, I started. And he was just like, well, are you almost done? And I was like, I mean, I have 2 more sets. Like, and he was like, and he walked away. Like, I wish I was dramatizing this, but he literally was acting like a child. And I was like, this is a grown man. And he was definitely older than me. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Like, not VP old, but like he was older than me. And I was like, okay, trying not to let this man dampen my mood. Yeah. And then I see him literally, he's just pacing now. He's literally directly behind me where like the machine is placed and whatever. Yeah. He's behind me, but he's just pacing. He started to set up, before he tapped me on the shoulder, I think he went to set up like one machine, but he didn't start the machine. He just was pacing in front of it between that machine that he set up and me. And he's just pacing, like obviously perturbed, like aggressively. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So do my next set and he starts pacing faster. And I'm like, I don't want to speed up for this man, like for his convenience, but at the same time, he's like making me really uncomfortable with like how much, like I saw when I was about like finishing up my second one, he was about to tap me on the fucking shoulder again. So I just kind of like hyped myself up, powered through my third one and like walked away. And I went to another machine because I wasn't done yet, but I was like, now I'm perturbed. I'm like, what the fuck? I see this man. So, and this was, when I was in the gym, it was not empty. So it wasn't empty, but it was also like not super full. Like there were other people around, but it's not like I was taking up like a whole bunch of machines. So, but this man decides he wants to do circuits. So he starts pulling like the machine I was on happened to be one that he wanted in his circuit. Yeah. And I think he was using like 3 machines that in a not empty gym, other people are trying to use it too. Like he's taking up 3 machines that people could be using. Yeah. And he does his one circuit and then he just keeps pacing. And then I see him go antagonize someone else. So he literally rushed me to finish my set to use the pull-up machine one time. Yeah. And then like I thought he was doing circuits, so I was like, that's already rude and annoying. Yeah. But then he literally went somewhere else and then he started bugging someone on the squat rack. Like he's like, are you done? Like, so I'm like, okay, at least you're consistently a dick. Like it wasn't just to me. But
so this is just your personality.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. So that was like, that's the worst, like just like blatant audacity I've ever faced from a man. Yeah. In slightly a workplace where he like genuinely, I was like,
next time if he taps you on the shoulder, you should just turn around and laugh and then go back to your workout.
I was just like, hello. oh, this also, okay, now you did workplace stuff, now I'm just doing like gym stuff.
Uh-huh.
But there was this other time where again, this is at the gym at my work. Obviously the people who go to work out at the gym at my work don't know what they're doing. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but like, don't have gym etiquette.
Yeah. Like if he was to do circuits, like from the gym etiquette I know, it's like if you tap someone on the shoulder, wait until they're not in the middle of the exercise.
Literally, yeah, wait when they're on like an obvious break, you know? Like,
and then you can just be like, hey, wondering like how many more sets you have.
yeah,
or
phrasing
like,
could have been so much better.
Yeah, or even I've heard or like I've been asked before, like, oh, like if you're on rest, can I just like work in with you?
Yeah.
Like,
I still think that for me personally, my comfort level's not there. So I don't know how comfortable I would be, but I feel like that's at least a valid question.
Yeah.
Like, and if I was doing a lot, I can.
Yeah, it makes sense when like both people are doing circuits and like they need like that one machine in their circuits, but they're using it at different times. So
Yes,
it's like you
absolutely.
don't really like overlap.
Totally.
But yeah, if it's the one machine you're using, just be like, oh yeah, like, can I like after you're
Wait
done,
2
can
minutes,
I
like,
yeah
literally.
use the machine? Like, sure, I have two more sets.
Yeah, exactly. There was like, it was just like so unnecessarily like confrontational.
Yeah.
And like aggressive.
So confrontational, and then the fact that like you used it once.
Yeah,
and then
that's the
just
part that like,
paced around. Like,
no,
what's
the part that fucking annoyed me is I'm like, okay, he needs to like use this machine. Like,
Yeah.
if he's gonna get on my ass and like be this aggressive with
Yeah.
it, and he used it fucking once. I was like, and it's like I'm
once in like 2 reps?
yeah, I was like I wasn't trying to watch him but at the same time, like now you've made your business my business.
You've made
annoyed
yourself
me.
known.
Exactly. So I was
Yeah.
like, now I'm like, I'm going about my stuff, but like I'm watching what he's doing from across the gym.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was annoying. That was just, I was just like, no. And then he's annoying other people. He's like
Yeah.
tapping other people. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I mean this slightly disrespectfully. Like, you weren't in the position where like you needed to use everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not training for some bodybuilding competition. Like, you don't need to be taking over, and you don't have jurisdiction to
Yeah.
take over the fucking gym. It's a work gym, okay? It's not like no Planet Fitness, no like 24-hour fitness. It's not a huge gym.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good enough. It has the basics, the standards, and just enough so that way you can have multiple people in the gym, but not enough where you can just be doing circuits left and right, like,
Yeah.
especially after work. Like, this was at like, I don't know, maybe 6 or something like that. So it's like anyone who's at the gym just came off of work, or like they just came off of work and they're like trying to get this in before they go home and get dinner. Like,
Yeah.
there's just like no need. And then there was this other guy,
Yeah.
dead ass. Oh my god, this was, again, I go to the gym at like 6 right after work, and this man, the squat rack was taken up. There's like 3 squat racks at the gym, all of them were taken up. And this one man, he was on a bench underneath the squat rack, elevated, but he was just kicking it back. He had his legs crossed up and he was scrolling on his phone. And I was like, that's a little weird, but you're on your break, whatever. But I was like, you look real comfy, because he literally had his like legs crisscrossed, tucked up to his, like, folded up onto the bench, and then his elbow was like on his bent knee, like,
Yeah.
scrolling. He had his hand behind his head, like he was comfy.
Yeah.
But whatever, you're on your break, whatever. And that was the day I wanted to do legs, of
Yeah.
course. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm watching the squat rack, waiting for someone, and it seems like people are just cycling in and out really quick on the other 2 racks, but this man is still on the squat rack. And I'm like, okay, like, trying to find other things to do. Like, I had my workout picked for the squat rack, trying to find other things to occupy my time. I watched this man. I ended up doing a whole workout of like other things that wasn't on the squat rack at all, because I was just so freaking busy. But this man sat at that squat rack for 45 minutes.
Did nothing.
Did nothing. Then after 45 minutes, he just got up and left. Like, dead ass. I was like,
What the
why on God's fucking green earth were you just existing?
Yeah.
And like if you're just gonna scroll, you just want to hang out, I don't care. Don't do it on like a high demand station on the
Yeah.
fucking squat rack. So
Does he have chicken legs?
I plead the 5th, but I will tell you they were not beefing. That's for sure.
T.
I was just like, and I feel like that happens often when I go to the gym. Like, I often will see, that's a whole nother subtopic of just like men's audacities.
Yeah, for sure. I did meet with one of my mentors this past week, and we were talking about the audacity of men.
Beautiful.
And because she's another woman in the workplace, and so she understands, and she's like, give me one moment. And she like went off camera, and then she came back on camera. She's like, look at what my husband got me. And it said, may you have the confidence of a mediocre white man. And I was like, golf claps all around.
Gold star for that husband
Yeah.
too. He knows. He understands the struggle.
Yeah, we were just talking about like just gaining confidence in the workplace, and then we were talking about the just like unearned confidence that men have just naturally. And she's like, yeah, so this is may you have the
That's
confidence
it.
of a mediocre white man.
I think that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to, at least for myself, of like just gaining confidence, especially when it comes to like standing up for myself for certain things, of like to have the confidence of a mediocre white man. Because there will be like certain situations where I'll like get into and I'm like, I'll be asked to do something by a peer, and they'll put they'll make their problem my urgency.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I know it needs to be done. So I'll just do it passively as kind of like a caretaker type of female. You know, like I'm just like, being a team player, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I'll complain about it, of course, to my partner. And he's like, literally, why did you do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? And I was like, it needed to be done. And he's like,
but not by you.
yeah. He was like, why is it your problem?
Yeah.
Like, this person created a problem, made a problem.
Yeah.
And then made you do it.
Yeah.
So there's a peer, and they messaged me, like, so we were like collaborating on something at work, and I'm going through the code, reviewing it, and I'm like, this is a plot hole. Like, something's missing over here, needs to be done. And it was technically something that even though we were both working on this piece together, it was more kind of their department, like something that they've worked on more than I have knowledge of. Like, I can figure it out, but they've worked on it more,
right.
Majority of it. So I created a to-do, like a little bug for them to do, and I assigned it to them. And I was like, I even messaged him. I was like, like, FYI,
created this so you can track it.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. I was like, created this later. And he's like, yeah, thanks so much for making that. And then like a few minutes later, he's like, hey, can you move it? Because it's I filed it incorrectly, apparently. I filed it under something that I thought it should be filed under, like in our larger hierarchy of tracking things that we do with our work. I filed it under something, and he's like, I think it should go into this other thing. Can you move it? And I'm like, can you move it? Like, it's
there's no he didn't take the initiative to be like, oh, I'll just move it because it's the wrong thing.
Exactly. And I was like, I went back and forth on this it's such a small thing, but I went back and forth on this in the motive of trying to stand up for myself too. Like, I was like, I went back and forth on this for like way longer than I should have, because it's like, on one hand, it's literally, I technically created it, right? So, okay, maybe I should move it. But at the same time, I created it, I assigned it to them. They saw that it was in the wrong component, and it takes 2 seconds it's literally like a toggle button.
Yeah.
So they could easily, like, in the amount of time it took them to message me to be like, hey, it's in the wrong component, they could have freaking moved it themselves.
Yeah. And then messaged you afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, hey, moved it.
Yeah. It really wouldn't have mattered to me, like, if they moved the component. It's for them to track, right? I wouldn't care. But if they really wanted to, sure, message me, let me know. That'd be fantastic. That's going above and beyond. But in the time it took them to ping me and message me like, hey, can you move this? They could have freaking done it. So I was like, at first I didn't respond to it immediately. I was like, I was not in the right, I was getting very defensive. So I was like, don't respond to it immediately. And then it's just nagging me in the back of my head, right? Like, it takes literally 2 seconds. I could easily fix this. So I was like, it's just nagging me, and I'm like trying to figure out how to phrase it to stand up for myself. Unfortunately, I caved, and I was just like, fuck it. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, moved it. And then, so I messaged them back, and I'm like, hey, I moved it.
Yeah.
They messaged back immediately after. And by the time I messaged them that I moved it, this was maybe an hour later too.
Yeah.
So I didn't respond right away.
Yeah.
And they messaged me back, and they're like, it's still in the wrong component. And I'm like, okay, like, from my understanding of what they said, this was now the right component. Obviously, that's not what they meant. And then now I'm getting even more mad, because I'm like, obviously I'm not understanding what you mean. Like, you want something very specific, and I'm not getting it from how you're portraying it to me. But so you just freaking move it.
Yeah.
Like, in the back and forth of you trying to like describe to me exactly where you want it, you could have fucking done it by now. And so I'm like,
yeah.
Then I have to again go down the rabbit hole of like, should I stand up for myself and just be like, you should move it, like just move it yourself, or do I just do it because it takes 2 seconds, blah blah blah, go back and forth on that. So I was like, at this point I'm like, you already fucked up, you already caved, you did it once, you have to change it now.
Yeah.
So I moved again, and I'm like, okay, is this the one? Like, is this it? And they're like, oh yeah, thanks. And I'm like, and then now I start venting to my partner, because I'm like, they just turned me into their freaking like secretary, da 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 da.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I did that to myself, because I was like, it takes 2 seconds. It's like, it shouldn't be that much effort. So I was like, sure, I can do this to help out this person. But like, in a power struggle type of way, they like just made me their bitch.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be peers.
Yeah.
You know? So like,
and
I went back and forth on that.
From a peer standpoint, it's kind of like we're both getting evaluated on the same scale.
Yeah.
So the fact that like I will get criticized for, say, not moving this task for you, you should be equally criticized for not taking the initiative to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yep.
So it's like, And then it's like, if you just didn't do it and then say lost track of the ticket or whatever,
Yeah.
it could just blow back on you.
Exactly.
And so it's like, for the health of the team or whatever, you should do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's his responsibility. And I feel like it's just, I mean, easier. I understand delegation. I do. But in a lot of cases like these, it's like, it's your work and you're not putting the effort towards it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you have that air about you where you just like, oh, I don't need to like do it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's happened before in certain ways too, of like you said, kind of this air of like almost entitlement.
Yeah.
Where like I scheduled a meeting. He asked for a meeting. He was like, we should talk more about this. No one else in the meeting thought we needed to schedule it. Everyone was kind of like, why?
Yeah.
And he made some point. He's like, because of this, and this. And people were kind of like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
If you want to schedule the meeting.
Yeah.
We go the whole day. He doesn't schedule it. I have something that I have to talk about.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fine. I'll schedule the meeting to talk about, if he wants to talk about his things too, whatever. But I have my things that I have to talk about. I put it in the description too. Like, here's the things that I need to talk about.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to talk about. Next time we come into a meeting, we open it up, we get into the meeting, and he's like, thanks for setting this up, Kristen. So I wanted to talk about, like, just starts taking over my meeting. And I'm like, and I was lucky that I had another coworker who I had just been talking with in a meeting before, and we agreed that I was going to run the meeting and like what we were going to talk about in that meeting, blah, 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 blah. So as soon as that happened, I kind of like stood up for myself, and I was like, first of all, let him finish whatever he was saying. And I was like, yeah, that's a great point. I actually want to talk about this. And my coworker who agreed that I should start the meeting, like, interjected at the same time as me. It was kind of like, yeah, Kristen has something to say. And I was like, thank you for like standing up for me and helping me with that. Luckily I finally decided to stand up for myself, but like he also was kind of like, hey, this is her meeting. She set it up. She had things to talk about. You had I gave him a whole day before I set up my meeting about what I want to talk about. So it's like, if you really want to talk about this, you could have set it up before.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I feel like you also brought up the, like, there's some men who think that their point is the most relevant.
Talk over your points.
Yeah, and they're like, but what about this? And it's like, everyone else in the room's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
yes!
That's not what we're talking about right now. And it's like,
just to hear themselves talk. They're just like, I have a question. Like, I'm here. It's to like sound like they're following what's happening and like talk about things that are relevant. And you're like,
you're talking out your ass right now.
Yeah, it's like you've derailed the conversation that's not relevant anymore. And now now everyone's just like stunned into silence because we're trying to pick up where you're at. Like, we're all on the same track and you're somewhere else.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, bring up your point, but if we say like, we'll take this offline, this is not a priority at the moment, whatever, and you're like, and everyone agrees, and they keep going, they're like, but what about this? It's like, okay, again, we acknowledge your point because we're not going to shut you down like some people do, and then like, but right now it's not a priority, and we will discuss this further at another time.
And they can't take that. It's like, it's not, they like see it as a rejection, and they're like, no, I will not be silent, and they like dig their claws in more, and they're like, I need to talk about this is something that is relevant, like I need to talk about this now. And it's like, the room has decided. Like, it's not even like, especially if you're the one answering, it's like, it's not even me, it's like the room, like, read the freaking room. That's not what we're like, either that's topic right now, or like that's not the main goal of this meeting, or like whatever. It's like, put a pin in it, we will talk about this, but just not at this second. And they're like, no. Like,
they're like, I'm an alpha male and I need to say what I need to say. Anyone who says they're alpha is a beta.
they're just irrelevant. I'm sorry. Like, you're just
all right. Well, guys, let us know what examples of male audacity in the workplace you've experienced. If you've experienced any, I'm pretty sure you have. Most of us have.
I'm pretty sure there's examples out there.
Yeah. Let us know. Reach out to us. All of our links will be on the screen or in the description. If you want to rate our podcast, it will be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Leave us a rating there because it would super help us out.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget to follow us hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, or follow us so you can be notified when our next episode drops on Tuesdays on all podcasting platforms, and on Wednesdays for the video cast on YouTube's.
Yeah. That is all, guys. So we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.